It was supposed to be a night of glamour, gratitude, and good champagne. But for Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, the 76th Annual Daytime Emmy Awards turned into a chaotic blur of panic, misplaced tuxedo pants, and one very suspicious trophy. When the couple's hit morning show Live with Kelly and Mark took home the coveted Emmy for Outstanding Daytime Talk Series, you'd expect confetti, kisses, and perfectly timed tears. Instead, what ensued was the kind of mild hysteria usually reserved for lost luggage and toddlers in toy stores. "I thought someone had died," Ripa later said, still clutching her metallic clutch like it was a defibrillator. The call came in at 7:42 p.m. "We weren't watching the awards live. We were in a hot yoga class." A win they didn't expect according to sources close to the couple. Read. Their dog sitter and a few nosy neighbors. Ripa and Consuelos had resigned themselves to losing the award this year. Ratings had dipped during the summer. A rogue intern once accidentally aired reruns from 2016 for a whole week, and a celebrity guest had walked off mid-interview after being served dairy despite a strict vegan writer. So when the win was announced, they were nowhere near the ceremony. In fact, they weren't even dressed. "We just didn't think we had a chance," said Consuelos, who reportedly had a face mask on and was in the middle of a downward dog when their publicist called. "The moment the phone rang and we heard the words, 'You won,' Kelly just froze. She looked at me and said, 'Something bad has happened.' And she meant it." The panic spiral begins. What followed was a series of events that can only be described as Emmy-geddon. Ripa, thinking it was a prank, threw her phone into a pitcher of cucumber water. Consuelos tried to pull it out, slipped, and accidentally knocked over a candle, which set fire to a complimentary yoga mat. Another participant screamed, thinking it was a targeted attack. Fire alarms went off. The studio was evacuated. The couple made it out with only one Birkenstock between them. "Mark ran back in to get my bag," Ripa said. "I screamed, 'Leave the bag, save yourself,' but he insisted. That's love." As paparazzi arrived on the scene, not for them, but for a B-list actor attending a nearby fundraiser, they quickly slipped into an Uber, still unsure if the award was real. Enter the mysterious trophy. Upon arriving at their Manhattan apartment, breathless and barefoot, the couple was stunned to find an Emmy waiting on their doorstep. "But we didn't go up on stage, we didn't even submit a proper reel this year," said Consuelos, squinting at the statue like it might bite. Kelly actually uploaded a clip of us arguing over who left the almond milk out. "That can't be what won." And it wasn't. 10 minutes later, another Emmy arrived at the door. This one with a different name engraved on it, The View. "Now we were freaking out," said Ripa. "Did we win? Did they win? Were we stealing someone else's moment? Or worse, was this a test? A case of mistaken Emmy-identity?" As it turns out, an awards assistant had mistakenly sent out multiple statues to the wrong recipients. The first one delivered to Kelly and Mark was actually intended for the Drew Barrymore show. The second was an extra trophy from 2019 that had been in storage. Calls were made. Apologies were issued. And the real Emmy, with their names engraved, finally arrived via courier 2 hours later, along with a handwritten note, "You really did win. Please stop calling the Academy Emergency Hotline." The existential crisis of winning even after the smoke, literal and metaphorical, cleared, Kelly and Mark weren't quite ready to celebrate. The entire ordeal had sparked something deeper, an existential crisis over what success really means. "We sat on the couch, staring at this trophy, and I just said, 'Mark, do we deserve this?'" Ripa confessed, dramatically pausing as if she were mid-monologue in an off-Broadway play. "I said, 'Kelly, what if this is the beginning of the end?'" Consuelos added. "Like, what if we peak tonight, and it's all reruns from here?" The two proceeded to stay up until 3 a.m., watching clips of past winners and Googling, Emmy curse. For the next week, they refused to mention the win on air, afraid they might jinx their next season. "We couldn't tell if it was a blessing or an omen," said Ripa. "That's the problem with Hollywood. You never know when success is real or just really well produced." Eventually, acceptance by week 2, however, the panic began to fade. Ripa returned to joking about her hot flashes. Consuelos stopped hiding the Emmy in the freezer, where he originally placed it, so no one could trace it back to us. Their dog Chewy was photographed wearing the trophy as a hat. And on the next live show, they finally acknowledged the win, with a 2-minute interpretive dance and a sarcastic monologue about how Winning is traumatic and deeply humbling in the most inconvenient way possible. Fans loved it. We honestly just wanted to make people laugh again, Ripa said. Even if it's at our expense. Especially if it's at our expense. The final word when asked if they're now enjoying their Emmy win. The couple shares a knowing look before Ripa answers. We're grateful. Truly. But we're also deeply suspicious. Of everything. Consuelos nods. The next time we win something, we'll be in hazmat suits. Just in case. Moral of the story? Never assume you didn't win an Emmy. And definitely never leave almond milk out on live television.